All right, now that that fiasco's over, you're gonna, what fiasco? That video was a good video. Well, no, it was not about a video. It was about something happened in between the two videos that you're not gonna know about unless you're a member and can watch the full live stream. So we're gonna move on, and as Heathen Dog talks to us about combat, he's gonna run us through an example combat, probably not too sophisticated because there are a lot of options that can happen in the game, but meaningful enough that you will understand how combat works in Shadowrun. So you're ready to play in your first edition Shadow. There we go. Or technically second edition as well, because the staging's even easier in second edition.
Yep.
But of course, I always have to start with not having my script up. So you know what? There you go. Where is? Oh, it starts there. Jeepers creepers. Is that? Click on the QR code. Do it right now. The first person to click on the QR code gets nothing. And a schedule.
Gets clout.
Gets clout. There you go. Subscribe for clout. All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. Window, share. Okay, we're going to go over the mechanics of Shadowrun First Edition and then an example, an explanation of a combat. One round of combat. Well, not a whole round, but one person's action in combat. So let's get to it. First of all, I want you all to know this was made by FASA Corporation, which this version of FASA doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And it was made in 1989. The designers, Bob Charette, Paul Hume, and Tom Dowd. I recognize.
Is that the same
Paul
Bob Charette that wrote the first trilogy that I could? Oh man, I had a hard time getting through that. Never Deal with a Dragon, whatever the hell the other. Yeah. I struggled through those.
I understand. You can get it right now at DriveThruRPG for $8. This is a full AAA game.
Did you get that image? It's all warped, and it's like somebody threw it in the trash, and you unfolded it and put it on the screen.
It's my book. It's a scan of my book.
You could have got a better image than that.
Okay. Dick. All right. So first, we're going to go over gameplay, the core game concepts that if you understand these, you'll understand the rest of the game. First are target numbers, how to get them, what they are, how they change, the rule of 6 and rule of 1, and success tests. There are 3 kinds of success tests: the unresisted test, the opposed test, and resistance test. We're going to go over all that. And then I'm going to explain dice pools, because this, from everyone's say, is the hardest part of the game and the most complicated, and really it's not. And in second edition they made it even easier, but in first edition it's not that complicated. I don't know what people's going on.
People don't like processes anymore. They want it just to be, I rolled a number and I'm done.
Well, that doesn't happen in any game, really.
Yeah.
So let's move on to target numbers. The game uses only 6-sided dice. Doesn't matter what
about the right number of dice on the screen.
They are. It doesn't matter anything. Just get 6-sided dice. That's all you need. Your mom and dad have Yahtzee. Guess what? That's a whole bunch of dice right there. 2 Yahtzee sets, a Monopoly set. Boom, you can play a game. All right, without doing anything else. Now, what were you saying?
That's the right number of dice right on the screen.
Well, you don't need that many, especially when you start off. You probably only need between 6, 7, and 8.
Total. But that's the illusion that people have.
Yeah, that's the illusion people get. Like, oh, you need all these dice. No, you need 6,
See,
7, 8.
Even right here. The actual number of dice you need to roll.
It's not. Okay, target numbers, like many other games, are based on the difficulty of the task. Goes from 2 to 10. Well, 10 plus. It can go to 1 billion, but no one's ever going to do that. But the difficulty goes from simple, routine, average, challenge, difficult, strenuous, arduous, extreme, and nearly impossible. Tying your shoes, if your game master actually asked you to roll for that, which you won, target number 2. Robin Hood arrow split, target number 10. It's like that. But hey, wait a minute. It's a 6-sided die. How do I roll a target number of above 6?
That is a very good question.
On a 6-sided die. Well, that's where the rule of 6 and rule of 1 come in. The rule of 6 is an exploding mechanic. When you max out the die, roll a 6, you roll that die again, and then add it to 6. You roll it again, add 6. So if I rolled a 6, I roll it again, I rolled a 4, that's a total of 10. If you roll a 6 again, lucky you, keep going. If you want to. I mean, if you've already hit your target number, you don't have to. You can just stop. It's fine.
So wait, so it doesn't count as extra?
No, you either hit the threshold or you don't. It's either success or not. There is no extraordinary success mechanic in this game. You either win or you either make a success or don't. That's
Okay.
it. But let's say you roll a 1. Well, what does that do? Well, in itself, it just means a failure. It's a failure. But if you have no successes and even a single 1 left over, you botched. And a botch is bad. A botch, the game master gets to do what he wants to you, and all you do is scream like a pig in Deliverance. That's it. That's all you get to do. All right. Your gun backfires and explodes. Your spell
Wow.
blows up in your face. You pulled the pin and threw the pin.
Those are pretty extreme examples.
But that's a botch. A botch is more than just a failure. You didn't miss. No successes is a straight up failure. Even a single botch, even a single 1 and no successes is a botch. Technically, there's no level of botching, but I've never known a game master to not punish you more if you have, say, 3 1s and no successes rather than just 1.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, what are we rolling for? There are 3 main kinds of rolls. An unresisted roll, like the bomb tech you see here, you are rolling against a circumstance or an object. There is no animus behind this. You are defusing a bomb. You're not fighting anyone. You are just rolling your skill against an inanimate object, or you're rolling your skill against a force of nature or an environmental circumstance like slippery oil or whatever you want to run across it. You're rolling against a circumstance. It's unresisted. Even a single success is usually enough to win because no one's rolling against you. But what if someone's rolling against you? Well, now we have the opposed roll. This is when you are actively competing against someone else. For example, arm wrestling.
Always the best example.
Strength versus strength. You're rolling against his successes with a target number of his strength in the example of arm wrestling. You have a strength of 4, you roll 4 dice. He has a strength of 5, he rolls 5 dice. He's rolling 5 dice with target number of 4, your strength. You're rolling 4 dice with target number of 5, his strength. Most successes win. Whoever has successes left over wins. By left over, I mean your successes cancel each other out.
Mm-hmm.
If no one wins, it's a tie. It goes on to next round or next action. That's why arm wrestling contests aren't won in a fraction of a second. Because usually they're about the same strength and they get about the same successes, and it just keeps going until someone gets tired. Then there is the resistance roll. This is
The hell is that?
This is a bullet going through ballistics gel.
Oh, okay.
This is the reason I gave this is because usually when you get shot, you are resisting damage. Damage is something that has already happened to you. If your body is good enough, you can resist some of it so the damage won't be as great. A resistance roll is different than an unresisted roll because a single success usually doesn't mean you're fine. A single success in a resistance roll usually means, yes, you took less damage, but only by a little bit. There's still some damage left over and you're still going to take it. So now I'm getting into dice pools. This is where people get lost a lot. It's not hard. Here you go. First pool, dodge pool. Dodging. You have a pool of dice. It gets refreshed every time it's your turn. You can use that as many or as little as you want until it's your next turn. But you will just get refreshed to maximum at the beginning of your next turn. But during the time between your turn and somebody else's and your turn again, you can use your dice pool, your dodge pool, to try and not get hit by anyone's ranged attack. Dodge pool only works against ranged attacks, usually excluding magic. That's special. But every single success you roll on your dodge pool takes away a success from hitting you.
And to be clear, if you've got 3 people attacking you, you're probably going to either want to avoid him and let those other 2 hit me, or split your dodge pool in 2/3.
Like I said, you're allowed to use 1, 2, all of it, whatever you want for any roll you want. But when you use them, they're gone until you get another turn. So if you run out, you're going to take the bullets. That's it. You're going to take it. They hit you or they don't. Pretty easy. Then we go to the defense pool. This is the dodge pool for up close combat, for melee combat. Directly removes opponent's successes to hit you, just like the dodge pool, but it's only used for armed or unarmed combat. So fisticuffs, knife combat, sword, axe, whatever. Melee combat. It's used the same way. Now, again, usually excluding magic because magic has its own pool, and it is renewed on your next action. Now, there are some special things you can do with the defense pool. Like if you get more successes defending than the person attacking you got attacking you, you can actually try and turn the attack back on them like an Aikido move.
A riposte, okay.
A riposte, yeah, it's a riposte. You can try that, but that's using a lot of dice to make sure you do that, and you may not have enough depending on how many attackers are attacking you. You may want to save it. And we have the hacking pool. Again, this shouldn't be used by PCs because NPCs in first edition are called deckers and riggers. But if for some reason you're playing a decker, don't. If for some, don't. If for some, don't. Anyway, hacking pool is only used when you are using a cyber terminal and you're inside the matrix. But it can be used for any role inside the matrix. Any role. Doesn't matter what. It's a pool for everything. And of course, like all pools, it's renewed on your next action. And we have the magic pool and the astral pool. These are for magicians only. If you can use magic, then you can use magic pool and astral pool. Magic pool is used to augment your spells going out or defend against spells coming in. So it augments your attack or your defense. It can defend others. You can allocate magical defense to somebody else. I'm going to give him 3 dice for this fireball that's coming to his face because he can't defend against it. Well, he gets 3 extra dice to help his resistance. Awesome, right? Friendly mage. Astral pool is like the hacking pool, but in astral space. Full mages or shamans can go into astral space. They can actually leave their body and they have an astral form. Very much like deckers leave their body and go, they don't really, but project their intelligence into the net, into the matrix. And now this pool is your everything pool, just like decking pool. It's everything. Everything in astral space, you use this pool instead of any other pool. So let's use what we've learned so far. We're going to go over combat, initiative and actions, shooting 101, damage, how damage is recorded, power, wound category staging, and resisting damage. And then we're going to have a sample combat. So combat. Reaction is initiative. Your reaction attribute is a figured statistic from 2 of your 6 major attributes. And average human is 3 plus 1d6. Everyone gets a plus 1d6 because there's always that exploding dice mechanic where you could be faster than you thought you were. I rolled a 6. I rolled another 6. I rolled a third 4. Wow. I got 6, 6, 4. That's amazing. Plus my 3. You lucked out and you get to go first. Awesome. Good for you. Cyberware and magic can augment this. As you can see from the 2 people here fighting, one of them is all cybered up, is obviously cybered up. The other is obviously a metahuman.
Is that a troll?
Fire. It could be an orc. He's too short for a troll. Okay. Trolls are huge. But having a higher result, you get more actions. You not only get to go first, but you get more actions in the same amount of time other people get to go their measly little 1 or 2 actions. You can delay your action, just like many other games. You can choose to say, I want to wait until initiative number 5. You go on 12. Yeah, but I want to wait till 5 because I want to see what this guy's going to do. He goes on 10. Or he goes on 6 or whatever. So I'll wait till 5. Okay, you can wait. You can delay it. You lose, you lose your initiative spot. It's a permanent change, but whatever, you can. And like I said, you re-roll all 6s. Now, this is how you get more than one action per round. You roll really high and you -7 rule. Here's the deal. Let's say, example, you're a cyber samurai. You got all the cool jack reflexes cyberware, and you roll a 15 on initiative. Okay, you go on 15. -7 from 15. That's 8. And then after you roll initiative, consult the extraction table. You get 2 actions, -7, 8. So you go on 15 and then 8. There you go. If you rolled a 17, you would go on 17, 10, and 3 because you get 3 actions per turn. Anything higher than 23 is whatever. You get 4 actions, but it's 23 plus, -7, -7, -7, -7, and then you're done. So you could go up to 4 times in a round, depending on how fast you are. Because
And cyberware and magic really help you with that.
Yeah, cybernetic and magical enhancement is that good. You get to go up to 4 times faster than a normal person. Because remember, a normal human is a 3 plus 1d6. That means on average, they're going to roll between a 6 and a 7. They're going to go once, and that's it. A cyber samurai can roll a 23 because he could have an 8 plus 4d6. Yeah, you could roll a 23 or higher just on your d6s. It's possible. Then you add 8 to it. It's crazy. So yeah, if cybered up is no joke. Magic is no joke. It's not as strong as initiative wise as cybernetic enhancement, but it's good. Much better than a human, regular unmodified human. So here's the example I was talking about. Using the cyber samurai archetype that's in the book. This is a picture from the book. His reaction is 8 plus 3d6. He's cyber enhanced. He rolls an 18. Back in the extra action table, he gets 3 actions. His first action on initiative 18, -7. Next action on initiative number 11, -7. Final action on initiative number 4. That's it. If you can -7 to a double to a number, you can do this.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it's not hard. Come on.
I have to do subtraction? That's like Thaco. I quit.
And everyone goes in initiative order. Let's say he is the highest initiative at 18. He goes
first.
Okay, who's got the next highest after 18? I got a 15. Then this guy goes on 15. Who's got the next highest? I got a 10. Oh, well, sorry. Cyber Samurai has 11. He goes again.
I was just going to ask, is it possible for him to go twice before I go once?
Especially if he's fighting regular human unaugmented folk. Like I said, the average for them is going to be 6 or 7. He rolled an 18, which means he's going to go twice before they go once. Cyber's no joke. All right, important notes on actions. Moving and using an action adds a penalty. You can run and gun in this game. You can run and gun. It's fine. But your target numbers are going to go up. +1 target number over flat terrain for running and gunning. Or running and doing anything. Running and writing. Running and casting a spell. Running and slicing. Whatever. +2 if it's rough terrain. You know, hilly, craggy area, gravel, sand, whatever. Moving and doing action that is usually automatic requires a test. For example, reaching into your pocket and pulling out a stick of gum does not require a test. You just do it. I'm sure.
Okay.
But if you are full on running, you are going to have to do some kind of agility test to reach into your pocket while you're running and pull out a piece of gum. It's going to be crap. Target number 4. It's not going to be hard, but it's going to be something that you can fail.
Running, you pull out and drop it. You could squeeze it in your pocket. You could trip over something. You know.
Whatever. You could accidentally stop running for a second because you put your hand too far in your pocket and now you can't move your leg right. You can do that. It's all good. Now, running is a multiplier depending on your race, the speed at which you run. Humans are a base, dwarves are less, elves are more, orcs are much more, and trolls are much, much more because they have huge arms and legs. So they cover more ground. So attacking. Here is the deal with attacking. The base target numbers are always the same. Short range, that's melee range, and short range for missile weapons is a 4. Base target number 4. Medium range, 5. Long range, 7. Extreme range, 9.
And one more time, can you quickly remind us, how do I get to that 9 on a D6?
If you roll a 6, the dice explodes. That means you roll it again and add the second result to the 6 you already rolled.
Okay.
So if you want a 9, you have to roll a 6 and then roll the 6 again and get at least a 3. That's a success.
That 7 always broke my brain.
Oh, I know. Yeah. 6 and 7 are the same target number.
Yeah.
Because if you roll a 6, you have to be able to roll a 7.
Yeah.
You can't roll a 6.5. It's not possible. Anyway, armed, unarmed combat, firearms, sorcery, whatever you're using to attack with, that's what you roll for your attack. So if you have firearm skill of 5, you're rolling 5 dice. And if the person is at medium range, you're looking for 5s on your dice rolls to count as successes. Odds are you're going to get 1. Odds are. Determine success by target number, modified by range, environment, damage modifiers of the attacker, etc. Of course, there's modifiers because complexity is added to games all the time, and environmental modifiers, damage modifiers are common complications in any game scenario.
And without getting simulationists, they just make sense.
Yeah.
Things are harder when you're in an environment that isn't beneficial to you.
Yeah. So if you are blind or have your eyes closed, you have +8 to your target number. If you are under, if the enemy is under partial cover, it's +2 target number. Full cover, +4. If the target is running, +1. Attacker in melee combat. If someone is in melee combat and you want to shoot the other person that's in melee combat with them, it's kind of hard because they're moving around, dancing around, fighting. So it's harder to hit the guy you want to hit. The attacker is running. If you're full bore running, you can't shoot. Just moving is a +1. Like I said earlier, moving over difficult terrain is +2. And then we got a whole bunch. Now we got the good benefits. A smart gun. It's a cybernetic implant in your hand that goes directly to your eye. Your gun has a pad on it that connects with it, and it shows you a target reticule to exactly where the bullet is going to hit. You get a -2 to your base target number. That turns a base target number of 4 into a base target number of 2. Almost every single cyber person ever gets a smart gun link.
In first
Almost
edition.
everyone does.
In first edition. When wireless came out, it became a thing to hack that.
Yeah, well, wireless isn't out yet. So there you go. And smart goggles are goggles attached to your gun that does the same thing, but the reaction time isn't as good. So it only gives a -1. Image magnification. This will only decrease target number for range modifiers only, because everything looks closer. Target standing still, get a -1. Recoil compensator and stabilizer. Well, that's, gas venting and recoil compensation is baked into the weapon, built into the weapon, and it makes it shoot better. That's it. You get that too. So let's say you do get hit and you want to resist damage. Like this orc guy right here is pulling a human into an alleyway to do untoward things to him.
Oh, I completely saw that image at first. I thought he was teabagging him.
No, he's pulling him into an alley to do whatever orcs do. All right. So all damage used is the same format. There's a number for power, a wound category, and a staging. Power is the target number needed to resist the damage of that weapon. So for example, let's say the gun you're using is 5M2. 5 is the power of the gun. If you want to resist the damage of that gun, you have to roll 5 to be a successful resistance.
What's an average resistance roll? How many dice?
3.
Oh, that's it. Okay, I got 3 dice right here, and there we go. I got a 6, a 4, and a 1.
You got one success.
No, I got 2 6s. I get.
Well, you don't need to roll. It's only target number 5. You don't need to roll anymore. So you got 2 successes. So that means you brought the wound category, which is next. The base damage level is M. That's moderate. You brought that wound category down because staging is the number of successes you need to raise or lower the damage. In your case, it's lower because you're resisting. You got 2 successes, which means the damage goes from moderate to light.
And if I'd only rolled 1 success,
then it wouldn't have done anything.
Right, because that's what that staging number is about.
And this is one of the means. That's the
biggest
threshold
changes.
number. The threshold number of successes you need to change your damage. And I love that about this game, because the more deadly the weapon, the harder it is to change the damage. Example, from 50 feet, if you get shot with a 22 snub nose pistol and you get shot in the head, that's not bad.
Yeah. I don't
Well,
want to be shot in the
unless
head
it
with
goes
anything.
directly center, it probably won't even puncture your skull. It'll deflect off. You'll get a cracked skull and some bleeding, but you're going to live. You get shot in the gut, well, that's different. 22s tend to tumble, and you can go septic real fast. All right. So that is a difference between changing the damage code of the weapon. And for a 22, it's probably only a 1. Every 1 success changes the damage going down. But of a 50 caliber sniper rifle, you can pretty much hit anywhere on your body and you're boned. Hit you in the head, obviously you're dead. Hit you anywhere in the torso, you're dead. Hit you in the arm, you have no more arm. Hit you in the leg, no leg. So it's harder to resist that kind of damage because it's catastrophic.
And the staging, because the staging number would be higher because you would need, and probably the power, but because you would need more. So great, you got 2 successes. It still doesn't matter. It does full damage to you. Yeah,
still does nothing. It's a howitzer, dude.
Yeah,
yeah. But I dodged a little bit, right? Yeah, a little bit maybe. But no, sorry, you still got your head blown off. That's what happens. But in 2nd edition, they changed all staging to make it 2.
And I'm torn on that because part of me really likes that. It did make the games one of the things we liked about it, but it also made it, because some of the other number changes as well. But to be quick, it did make some of the weapons that you could used to be able to kill people with almost instantly, not so much.
Yeah. Damage is based on weapon type. If you have a bigger gun, you have bigger numbers. If you have a hand-to-hand combat, the base damage for hand-to-hand is strength M1, stun. Well, stun, we didn't go through stun, did we? Oh, we're gonna, don't worry. Resisting damage. Armor gives automatic successes. Whatever armor you have is an automatic success toward resisting the damage. So you get automatic numbers for staging. For example, Max Liao here rolled 2 successes on his body to resist damage. But what if he had an armor vest on? An armor vest is right here. That gives 2 auto successes.
So that would have been total of 4?
2 successes brings to light. 2 more successes brings it to nothing.
Woo-hoo.
If he was just wearing his armor vest, he would have taken no damage from that bullet. Ballistic is for firearms and explosives, and impact armor is for melee combat, basically. So they can be stacked, but they are not additive. They are replacative, I guess you can call it. Here's an example. If you have armor clothing, it gives ballistic armor of 3, impact armor of 0. But you also have a leather duster on. It gives ballistic 0, impact of 2. Your effective armor is ballistic 3, impact 2.
Oh, so they do that. So they don't. Oh, wait.
They don't add together.
You take the higher one. Okay, yeah, I take the higher one.
Wins. Exactly. For example, if you had the duster give ballistic 1, impact 2, it would still be total ballistic 3, impact 2. They don't add together. Highest one is the one you go with. Oh, here's our new example combat. So you can see it all nice. Ares Predator in 1st edition game. This was the go-to handgun, right? This was what most people started with, an Ares Predator. Its power is 4, its wound category is moderate, and its staging is 2. So let's see what happens when we roll. Every 2 successes increases the wound category 1 step during your attack. You roll firearms. You roll 5 dice. Let's say you get 3 successes to hit. The wound category goes up to severe. Because you got
at least
2. You got 2 or higher and less than 4. That raises up by 1 category to severe damage. Now, the defender can now resist. I'm sorry, what was that?
Before you move on, I got a question. I don't. Maybe I just missed it. So the staging works on both sides. It's not.
We haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, well, it's because it looks like you're covering it. That's why I was
getting there right
now.
Okay. All right. Now the defender resists. He rolls his dodge pool, got no successes. Dang it. All right. Well, he gets hit with the full force. He gets hit. Armor gives auto successes. Let's say, unlike Max here, he remembered his armor vest. So he gets 2 automatic successes. Now he rolls his body with the target number of the weapon's power, which is 4. And he gets 2 successes. It brings it from severe to moderate thanks to his armor, and 2 successes down to light thanks to his body. So he takes a light wound. Well, Heathen Dog, what does that mean? Well, here's your condition monitor. It goes light, moderate, serious, and possibly dead.
And
You're
this is
dying.
for everybody in the game.
Everybody. There is no hit points. Nothing. This is it. You get 10 boxes of physical damage and 10 boxes of mental damage. When you get 10 boxes of physical damage, you are dying. You have your I believe it's your number of rounds of your body attribute for someone to help you before you're dead. Just dead. If you take 10 boxes of mental damage, you are unconscious. You're knocked out. You're out. You're helpless. You're not dying. Unless someone shoots you in the head, then you're dead. Coup de grace. It happens. But here we go. Condition monitor. Each of these have damage modifiers attached to them: light, moderate, severe, and deadly. As you can see in the bottom of the condition monitor, it says damage modifiers. If you are lightly damaged or lightly fatigued, you get a +1 to all your target numbers and a -1 to your initiative score. Moderate, serious, it gets higher and higher. Deadly is not listed here because you're either unconscious or unconscious. You're either dying unconscious or knocked out unconscious. You're not making any moves. You're not rolling anything.
One of the complaints of this game that I don't see as a complaint is that people didn't like this because it caused a quote unquote death spiral. Well, yeah, once you start taking damage and you start dying, things aren't as easy.
Yeah. You know what? It teaches you to run away. If you feel like you can't win, run away. But we'll fail the mission. Okay. Better than dead.
You could have another mission later.
Have another one later. I mean, your reputation might take a hit, but you're not dead, right? Anyway, initiative modifier, effects of deadly damage. Mental, like I said, unconscious, physical, dying, and unconscious. And you have possible magic loss if you are a mage. A mage or a shaman, you lose access to certain powers of magic if you take deadly damage, deadly physical damage. But we're going to get into that when we get into magic. So modifiers are cumulative. Example, let's say you get punched by an orc. He's tough. He gives you moderate fatigue, moderate damage in mental. Because like I said, it's strength M1 in damage. You took 3. And then you get shot by a corporate stooge, but your body armor is good enough. You took light damage, but that's physical damage. That's another chart. So your total modifiers are +3 to all your target numbers and -3 to your initiative. The two sides are cumulative. There's that death spiral again. You get hurt and mentally damaged. Rethink your life. Is this the path going forward for me? No, go back home. You left the oven on. Mental damage can roll over into physical damage. If you getting beat up by a cybered up troll, he could have a strength of 15 pretty easily. If he beats you unconscious and continues to beat you, all the damage that was stun is now physical. That means he's actually beating your skull into a pulp. He's turning you into paste.
And chances are you're unconscious while he's doing it.
Yeah, you're not feeling it. Good job. You're not feeling it, but he's killing you. All right, so in our next video, we're going to talk about magic, sorcery, simple sorcery, and ritual sorcery, spirits for hermetic and shamanic mages, what drain is, that's important, and using magic, example, combat spells, and some magical errata, because they came up with errata in for the Grimoire, which is also a first edition book, and I've included some of that here.
Okay, the Grimoire is actually a book I like. Before we move on, I got 2 comments. The one thing that I want to express here, and yes, Heathen Dog said it, but I just want to make sure it's clear, is that staging works both ways.
Yes.
So your successes can up the staging. You could make that 22 deadly.
Yes, shoot him in the eye.
Shoot them in the eye. And that's what those extra successes mean. It's to be fair, it's just like even modern games with an extra success system. You were just, even though it's very clear about how body armor can drop the staging down, but your successes drop it up. So you're playing this power play between body armor versus successes. And ultimately, it works. And here's the thing, that when you look at, even when I was watching Heathen Dog do this, it's like, yeah, I can see why people think that's a little more difficult than it is. Once you start rolling those dice, though, man, this stuff becomes second nature. We learned it. Look, I learned it in like 11th grade, just while playing the game. Blah blah blah. Oh, this makes sense. It's not hard. It's not hard.
No.
My fault says I didn't think the Decker was NPC, but I don't remember what edition. It's not. Just Heathen Dog doesn't like him.
No. There is no reason. No, come here. There is no reason to play a Decker or a Rigger in first edition. Zero reason.
I disagree.
I don't care what you agree with.
It's just a pain in the butt.
I said first edition. You're talking of second or third.
I'm talking first edition. I played a Decker.
Okay, then you played badly. Now, if someone you're playing with, come here. If someone you're playing with is playing a Decker or a Rigger, beat them up. They're going to take away your game experience. They're going to take hours of your life away for no good reason whatsoever. An NPC can do their job in 5 minutes. If they do their job, they're in the Matrix for an hour, or they're always staying with the car. Because in combat, they're almost useless. They can't even bullet sponge properly. Don't do it. All right. That's the end of my.
There are certain limitations, absolutely, and the right way to do the Decker is to use the Cyberpunk rules for the Decker. But yeah, I mean, obviously you can't do that. How come we never had arm wrestling focused RPG like Over the Top? I don't know. I don't remember starring that one.
Over the Top?
Over the Top. I don't remember starring this, but apparently I did.
Okay.
Or did you star that? And I
didn't do it. I don't
remember. I don't know why we never had an RPG that was arm wrestling. All right, let's get ready for magic.